60 Minutes with Angela starts right now.
I'm tired. It's like I'm blinking in the dark. Nobody is seeing me. You should do it properly for Ekiti. I've made my mistake. I'm trying to correct my mistake. But we should not allow other mistakes to just keep on rolling.
Well, hello and welcome. This is 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi. Thank you for joining me on the program today. Now, my host today is a former secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State. That's in the southwest region of Nigeria. The party says he was expelled on the 31st of July 2015. He was the former chairman of the Security and Intelligence Committee of the governorship campaign of the current governor, Ayodele Fayose of Ekiti State. He was also the chief returning officer for that election, for the PDP that is, and appeared before the Major General Adeni Oyebade Army panel investigating the activities of Nigeria's military in that election in 2014, an election that saw an incumbent governor lose his seat. So, join me after the break as I count down 60 minutes with Dr. TEMITOPE Alukko, former secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State. Welcome back and welcome Dr. Alukko. Thank you very much for coming on the program with me today.
Thank you.
So you were smiling when I said former secretary of the People's Democratic Party. Are you still in the PDP?
I'm still in PDP and I'm still the secretary of PDP in Ekiti State. The bogus expulsion they were talking about did not even meet the constitutional requirement, and unfortunately we are still in court over it because by February 10th we should still be arguing the case over the disciplinary committee. As usual, Governor Ayodele Fayose introduced his own mathematics into the game. You know, the mathematics of 7 being greater than 19 House of Assembly members. He now said 1 is greater than 9 members of SWC. In fact, it took about 5-6 of us, and he said he has expelled 6 of us.
I've heard about what you call the Ekiti project. What exactly is the Ekiti project?
Yes, the Ekiti project is our own concept.
Who is
We are Governor Ayodele Fayose, myself, and Right Honorable Femi Bamishile. It's our concept of how we can better the lots of Ekiti people. It's our own concept of how we can leave our names in gold. Our perception of the governance, our perception of the people managing the affairs of the state, and the way we can come in and make sure that we are not just outside arguing, that we can come in and use the apparatus of government to better the lots of Ekiti people. That is the Ekiti project.
And Femi Bamishile was the former speaker of
former speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly. He contested in 2011 as a House of Rep candidate.
But he didn't get into the House of Rep.
What happened in 2011 to everybody?
The way you've described it now, it looks like the three of you, yourself, Governor Fayose and Femi Bamishile, were like 3 musketeers, 3 very good friends.
Very, very
so
close.
can we say that you were an insider in Governor Fayoshe's, what we call here, kitchen cabinet?
There is no kitchen cabinet outside us. What I mean is that we were the ones that brought him back in 2011 into PDP from his labor. You know, he had this misadventure outside PDP for 8 years.
Yes.
And we now brought him back because he contested for senatorial seat. Out of 2 constituencies, I contested for the rep in one. That's Ado and Irepodun.
Right.
And we are from the same local government, although different state constituency.
Right.
So it's not that. Like 2006, 2007, I was the chairman government advisory committee. That's almost like the chief advisor to his government. We are very close. Like in the last 40 years, I've known him. I stayed in Felele, and he was staying at Orita Challenge with his father, Governorship blocks. And we are very close.
I mean, so you have history with him.
Yes, 40 years. So it's not as if we are just meeting for the first time. And not only that, in his coming to government in the first term,
yes,
I was there. In fact, there was this order coming from presidency that they should go and arrest myself as the chief advisor, Chief Okondo as his AFFM BOT chairman then, Benga, who is now the ADC to him now.
Yes.
Benga.
This was under President Olusegun Obasanjo.
Yes, but Benga was the ADC then.
Yes.
And then his PA, Goke Olatunji, his PA then. And this man that was also my deputy in the security committee for his recent election that died during the process, Chief Omolafe Aderigi. So the 5 of us were actually arrested, and some spent like 3.5 years.
Yes.
I did about 6 months. Some did about 2.5 years. We were all released after some time. So it's not as if this is our first time of coming together. It's not as if we wine and dine together. It's not that. He's my big brother. We are very close. Very, very close. So you can't say that I am not his kitchen cabinet, because after bringing him into the party in 2011, I organized his tour around the 177 wards in the local government between October and December 2011.
Right.
Myself and Femi Bamishile and one Narogumasa, the 3 of us, we did the arrangement of the Congress that produced our own state test school, local government test school, and world test schools. And that was the 318, 310 history. Then in 2012, that led to Akeomoli challenging Ogundepe.
Yes.
We produced Ogundepe, Honorable Ogundepe, based on 318 votes. And Engineer Segun Nekokos and the re-standing PDP that were with Engineer Segun when he was doing his governorship.
Yes.
They were on another side with one Otumba Akerele, Yinka Akerele of FEMA then.
Yes.
So they were on another side, and they had 310 votes. Of course, it led to about 6 months of having meetings, peace meetings, going to court. They were now saying they want to harmonize us, and I was the one that was championing the issue of 318 with Honorable Makonjo Olaogundipe. But immediately after that establishment of the Congress, of the state health schools, Governor Ayodele Fayoshe moved a little bit out to now establish his own campaign organization, and I was there too. But we have produced the deputy chairman and the state secretary. Deputy chairman in the person of Right Honorable Femi Bamishile, and the secretary in my own person. Out of the 14 health schools, we were able to have about 8.
Okay, so that puts you all in good stead.
Yes,
you know,
to run the race of governorship. And of course, before starting that venture, we had all sorts of agreements amidst us, gentlemen agreement, godly agreement.
When you say you had all kinds of agreements, so what do you mean by that? You were swearing on the Bible that that what would happen?
That Governor Fayoshe, we made him Governor Fayoshe.
Yes.
And he will appoint me as chief of staff, and he will also make Right Honorable Femi Bamishile deputy governor.
Why did you both, yourself and Bamishile, why did you concede governorship to him?
Because he was like our brother, our political mentor. We are stakeholders together, but you know, amidst the 3 of us, he's still the leader. And
so it was only natural.
Older than us, former governor. I've worked under him as chief advisor. Femi Bamishile was there as SA then. It was after his exit that Segun came in, and then Femi Bamishile became the Speaker,
of the House
Assembly. And it was after the exit of Segun that we were now saying, yes, I want to go to House of Rep. Femi Bamishile said he wants to go to House of Rep. We won the primaries, fair and square, and then we went into the general election. But like what happened in the Southwest, Sulami, we lost the election.
Nothing happened.
And then we now sat back and said that, why did we lose this election? It was because Fayose took his own people, took some of our people
away
into Labour.
So he split the votes.
When you look at the combination of the votes, it was more than enough to get 1 or 2 seats from APC.
Why did you and Mr. Bamishile think that Governor Fayose would uphold his own part of the bargain? Is it that you all had dealings before and he kept to his promise? What made you think that upon him becoming governor, he would keep to his promise?
Because as at that time, he was out of PDP for 8 years. We were in PDP. We were the ones that made him the governor. And we are talking about somebody that we were both sleeping on the same bed, eating from the same table, from the same plate, driving in the same car. At times, we will not allow drivers and security to be with us.
Did he ever offer any explanation as to why that agreement you all reached, he wasn't going to keep up with it anymore?
No. We noticed the change immediately he got the ticket. We noticed the change not towards me, but towards Femi Bamishile. You know that after winning the primaries, the next thing will be appoint your deputy governor. When he got to that stage, for him to make the pronouncement of Femi Bamishile, he started calling me aside, telling me that, don't I think that Femi Bamishile is a little bit strong? That Femi Bamishile, that are we not going to have 2 governors in governor's office? If you should make him, I said, but look, we have done this thing thrice. And you can't say that. I'm aware that Femi Bamishile sold this house in Ghana and put the money on this project. And I'm aware that because when it was very tough, when the consensus were gaining ground, because they were now saying they want governorship to go to South, and they were looking at Prince Dayadeyeye or Senator Governorship Aluko, the only senator in 1999 of PDP in Southwest. It was then that we called Femi Bamishile that you are the deputy chairman of the party. You can also come out to destabilize them in the South. So you come out as a governorship aspirant from the South and you join the consensus train. The consensus will never form if you don't agree. And they were not likely going to pick you because you are from our stock. And then we raised Chief Mrs. Bola Oloyede and Mrs. Bose Dedada, who's now in the House of Assembly, because we need the noise of the women. In case they are still talking of consensus, it is very appropriate for a woman to now come out and tell everybody that it's because I'm a woman that they are now saying they want to do consensus amidst the males. And she will go to court. And based on gender sensitivity and all other issues, everybody will fall behind. So the consensus will never work again. So we had the 2 options ready.
So when he called you aside and said, don't you think Bamishile is very strong, you impressed it upon him to stick with that agreement?
I told him that no, we have to stick with that agreement.
Why did you then go on to continue to work with him as the candidate of the party?
Of course, Right Honorable Femi Bamishile was upset, but I called him and I said that you can always go back for help. Let's assume that our brother knows what he's doing. Let's give him a chance. We have a bigger project in mind and not that of positioning. The project is to deliver the dividend of democracy to the Ekiti people. So let's just try. He will use 4 years and he will step aside. If we can perform very well with this government, we will also be able to capture Ekiti State again for PDP. And then we now reposition ourselves again. We are looking at the interest, we are looking at our future, we are looking at the totality of Ekiti. And then we were also looking at him. But unfortunately, he didn't make any pronouncement on the House of Rep issue for Femi Bamishile again.
As a form of compensation, perhaps.
And Femi Bamishile called 4 meetings, asking me specifically,
are you supporting me to the House of Reps?
That, okay, you have taken deputy governor, I'm still with you, I want to run this race with you all the way, but I need that assurance, because we now found out that after the primaries, our big brother, Fayose, has changed into something else. He was almost becoming a demigod. So we said, okay, we have to manage him. Because I've always been of that opinion. When we were canvassing and rooting for primaries, I was the one that stood up in the presence of everybody at Abuja, and I qualified him as a rampaging bull in a China shop. He has the energy. And I said that, look, we must accommodate this man in PDP. And if he wants to take the governorship ticket, let's give it to him. If you are not willing to give it to him, let us go to the field. Because he has the party structure through us. So we are sure that we will win the primaries. But because they were also aware that with the party structure out of their hands, they may not have a fair chance on the field. That was why they were now talking about the consensus. When they were brought the constitution of the party in, and we explained to everybody, I did the waiver that made him to be qualified for him. That was immediately after the Congress of March 2012. And after that waiver and the ratification of NWC that we should go for primaries in March 23rd, it was at Legacy House that Muazu made the pronouncement. And from there, they were saying that we did not have registers. We had to now carry the registers from Ekiti to Abuja. So all those gubernatorial aspirants that were saying we don't have registers, we must do consensus, and they have held a meeting in Chief Body Judge's house in Abuja. They have agreed on Gbenga Aluko and Adeyeye. When we got there, I was the one that stood up. In fact, Senator Gbenga Aluko was very upset with me, and he was now saying that, what do I mean? What? I said we must follow the constitution of the party. And I asked Chief Muazu whether he wants to break the constitution of the party, he should allow us to know. And then Muazu now said that anything that's about the constitution, he will stick with the constitution. So it was Chief Body Judge that now raised another issue. Okay, if you want to do primaries, where are your registers? And you know, we had the information. It was when Babishile that called me with the information Sunday afternoon. I should make sure that I'm in Abuja with the registers. So there and then I just beckoned to people to bring the registers down, and they brought all the registers into the conference room at Legacy. So that was when Muazu now said, you have to go ahead.
Do you regret all this support that you gave Governor Fayose?
I don't, because whether you like it or not, I was also making a statement in Ekiti. Myself and Right Honorable Femi Bamishile made a statement that we can start from the scratch and deliver.
Join us again after the break.
Nice question.
Angela, that's a great question.
It's a good question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
That is a serious question.
Angela, that is a very great question.
Great question, Angela.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question.
Angela, that's a tough one for me.
That's a good question. Good question.
I love to ask questions. I think it's what I do best. You see, I think that the fastest way to learn anything is to ask questions. The right questions, that is. Questions that help you get to the heart of the matter.
60 Minutes with Angela. Gain answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, it's 60 Minutes with me, Angela Ajitumobi. On my hot seat today, the Secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State, Dr. TEMITOPE ALUKO. You said no regrets, but what's the situation with the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State now? Is there unity, or are you factionalized?
With the incoming of Governor Fayose and his becoming the governor, he made one pronouncement. He said that there is no more party, that is the party. And the leaders of the party quarrel with that statement. We in SWC, we quarrel with that statement. But the man that could have spearheaded the correction of that statement,
yes,
this same Honorable Makojola Ogundepe, who was still the chairman of PDP then, we decided that it is best we move him to Southwest, because we had Filani as the Southwest chairman.
Right.
And then the Southwest election was not properly done at that period, because it was done by Fair Act. No election. We went to court because the people that were actually chosen, Prince Oyinlola, former governor of Osun State,
yes,
as the national secretary, and Engineer
Shegun,
former governor of Ekiti State, as the Southwest chairman, and Bode Mustafa, coming from the caucus of President Olusegun Obasanjo. They were the ones manning the structure at the zonal and national level. And because we had this concept that we are going to go into primaries, they were the ones that we approved the primaries and approved the candidature of any gubernatorial. We now made up our mind that we are not too comfortable, neither are we too safe with them. So we went to court based on that small illegality, and challenged it. And we got the judgment that sacked them. We now put in place Professor Oladipupo and Honorable Adeyanju, National Auditor.
Has that unified all the members of PDP?
Not really, because we had a special national convention where they were actually now voted into positions, into power. But coming back to Ekiti State, why I said I will never not leave PDP is that when we were doing the issue of the Southwest, Engineer Shegun called me because I was more like a consultant in that government. I did seats, I did leads for them. That's a state economic empowerment development strategy and local government economic empowerment development strategy all over the 16 local government. Engineer Shegun is more like my mentor, but I did not agree with some things. I now called Engineer Shegun that we are bringing Governor Faweshe into the party, and he warned us.
In what way did he warn you?
He told us that Governor Faweshe will come into the party and wreck the party. He said he will make use of the party as a platform for his returnees, which he did. You see, there's a lot of wisdom in somebody that has occupied a very big office. So when Engineer Shegun was saying this, he's in APC now. I'm saying this because he's still an Ekiti leader. That's why I am saying this. Immediately after his emergence as the governor of Ekiti State.
That's when the election was won now.
Yes. We now moved Chimakojola Ogundipe out to Southwest as the Southwest chairman.
Yes.
He now brought a Labour returnee in as Chief Faleye as the chairman. Chief Faleye came from the same constituency as the state youth leader, Taiwo Olatunji. And I said that two principal positions cannot go to Idosi. And that this man that you want us to use as the acting chairman, in 2011 he contested against PDP in Labour as a House of Rep candidate. And by 2011, we got your own waiver for you. He's now replacing a chairman that came in through 2012 Congress. And he was still Labour candidate in 2011. And in our constitution, you must spend 24 months before you can contest. I said, as at then, he was not qualified. So he cannot occupy that seat now. Let's look for somebody within PDP
that fulfills all those conditions.
Because whether he's saying anything, he will always tell you that I will give him the appropriate advice. And that is my problem. I will give him the appropriate advice. And immediately after that, for about 1 month, he was now calling the leaders, telling them that TKO, look at what TKO is doing. He doesn't want to make this man chairman. The man, during the campaign, was very close to me. Faleye was very close to me. So at a stage, I had to now concur. I said, okay. But immediately, he made the man chairman. He just moved the whole office to Government House.
The whole PDP office.
Nothing was happening again because it's only the signature of the chairman or the secretary that you need. Secretary to call meetings or to write minutes.
Yes.
And the chairman to sign off. He was now using the party like an apparatus in his bedroom because Chief Faleye will always be in waiting room from morning till evening. He's now a Commissioner 1, Ekiti State Civil Service Commissioner, still holding the two positions together, that one and acting chairman of PDP. At that stage, they now use PDP in all the elected positions were now filled by Labour returnees. And they call PDP people like Siri Fashuyi, people like Yinka Kirele, people like Ayayo Arishe, people like Ilawe, Ambassador Benjide, Dr. Wolabi, Akinyede, Kayode Alufa, name the key PDP. People that have been, when he was in Labour, 8 years, and in Labour, NPP, PG, you know, he went to like about 4 or 5 parties.
So those who were moving with him.
Yes. So I now said that, look, Your Excellency, this position is wrong. The way you are taking PDP is wrong. I wrote a memo to National Working Committee and I said that it is not because you did not make me Chief of Staff. I wanted to contest for House of Rep. You didn't allow me to go. It's not because of that. And you made a statement. You said, I will be too powerful. I will become MOB of Fayemi. And I said that I'm not even in good terms with Fayemi, because it was Fayemi that changed the ticket of Senate from MOB and gave him rep, so as to be able to counter me in my own local government. And MOB is my cousin. So from me,
that's Opeyemi
Bamidele.
Yes.
So I said, no, this is wrong. So I mean with Fayemi then, yes, despite the fact that he was governor. But between October, when Fayoshe was sworn in,
October 16,
yes, to May 2015, when we had our House of Assembly back in session.
2015, yes.
When we had our assembly, the new assembly back in session. Fayoshe made appointments, and all the appointments were labor returnings. He made Commissioner for Justice, labor returnee. Owosheni made Ojo, labor returnee. That's finance. Kayode Osho, labor returnee, contested House of Rep.
Anyone who becomes the chief executive of a state, it is expected that he will want to stamp his authority on things, have his own people.
I am just telling you, because you say, what is the position of PDP now?
Yes.
So I'm trying to tell you the genesis. That's just the executive arm. When you come to the legislative arm, part of the 26 seats
in the House of Assembly,
19 were labor returnees. And not only that, for the management of the assembly, 6 positions, 5 were labor returnees.
The principal officers.
Yes, including the speaker, Oluwawole, who was our PRO in SWC. Then, when you now look at the National Assembly, out of the 9 seats there, all the seats for the reps, the 6 rep members are labor returnee.
Yes, but people will look at you now and say, this is January 2016. Yes. Why are you just saying all these things?
I'm even telling you that for so long I've been petitioning to National Working Committee. That was why he said they should expel me. The leaders will tell you, I've been calling leaders meeting, I've been saying this. Go back into the library and check dailies. You will find me there saying all these things. Tribune, The Nation, Punch. At a stage, the state health school, about 29 of us came together. And because of the ineffectiveness of that Chief Faleye, decided to suspend him. That was in May last year.
2015.
That was because they were trying to do it, and I told them that we cannot do anything like that now. We must allow our party to produce their candidates, and we go to election and secure the seat first before we now come back and readjust the party. But immediately after securing the elective positions, Governor Fayoshe said that he has abandoned the party, the TKO them, that they are on their own at the party secretariat, that his own party is in government house. And he said they should not go to the party secretariat again. After some time, the 29 ESCO members, we voted to remove Chief Faleye. And he said that is a dream, that we cannot do that. For 6 months we were on it. We now put somebody that was the vice chairman, it's not senatorial district, the district that produced the acting chairman. That produced Makonjola Ogundepe, in the person of Honorable Olatunde to now step into that shoes temporarily. And at the end of the day, in June, Fayoshe now said that, we have done anti-party. All of us in the SWC, he now produced a letter saying that they've given him the authority to expel us. He produced a letter written to a state chairman not named from the National Organizing Secretary, Alhaji Mustafa. And I said that we are not foolish people here. We are graduates here. Some people may have diploma, OND or so. But we are graduates. This is fountain of knowledge. I said it's only the national secretary or the national chairman that can sign this kind of letter, and they cannot even expel. They can only recommend to NEC for expulsion. So it's a kangaroo thing. Published it in the newspapers. I said that is your style. You make so much noise when you want to achieve your objective. But we said no. At the time, I made a case for the PDP leaders, because they were saying that I was the source of their problem.
Because you brought Governor Fayoshe.
And by that time, Right Honorable Femi Babishile has gone into APC. He's now an APC gubernatorial aspirant, warming up for 2018.
Against Governor Fayoshe.
Yes. So I'm the only one now standing in PDP, still saying that he must do it right. And I still mean it. He has to do it right.
Join us again after the break.
Nice question.
Angela, that's a great question.
It's a good question.
It is difficult to respond to that question.
That is a serious question.
Angela, that is a very great question.
Great question, Angela.
You know, Angela, that's a very difficult question.
That's a great question, Angela.
Okay, that's a great question. Angela, that's a tough one for me.
That's a good question. Good question.
I love to ask questions. I think it's what I do best. You see, I think that the fastest way to learn anything is to ask questions. The right questions, that is. Questions that help you get to the heart of the matter.
60 Minutes with Angela. Again, answers to every question you always wanted to ask.
Welcome back. My concluding moments now with Dr. TEMITOPE Alukko. He's the Secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Ekiti State. So, you said no regrets. You've also said you're tired of apologizing to people for bringing Governor Fayose into the PDP. Why did you describe the 2014 governorship election as a coup d'etat?
Yeah, because the way we manage the election, it's not in line with the electoral heart. Let me put it in quotes. When you are talking about election, it should spread over a period of time.
Not just on election day.
Not just on election day. But because in Nigeria, people are always focusing on the election day, we now manage pre-election day. So coming into election day, we allow people to see what we want them to see. But before the election day, we are contesting against people, against party, and we had the federal might. Even before the primaries, while we were trying to get ex-President Jonathan to buy into the project, we sold the notion to him that for his second-term ambition, we need to secure the Southwest. Because given Southeast, South-South, we PDP is sitting pretty there.
Yes.
But because of the clamoring of our brothers from the north, they were asking for a northern president.
Yes.
And because we have decided to give ex-President Jonathan another opportunity, some people were saying no, he should have sacrificed that ambition for the party to still be in power. But you know that he also worked very hard to secure the presidency for the party. So he was buying all sorts of ideas that he termed to be reasonable enough to take him there. And so we told him, the Northwest, Northeast, but North Central. We are in and out of North Central as a party, but Southwest we are not there at all. But South-South and Southeast, we are there as a party. So we said for him to be able to match what our northern brothers will bring with the northern president from the north, given our position that we cannot easily determine the North Central, then we need to work on the Southwest, which is like a sitting zone for APC. We need to take the battle to their home. So we said that the only man that can do that is Governor Fayose. Of course, we manage all sorts of security reports, formal and informal, within the party, within the presidency, to make sure. There was even, I won't mention the name, a senator that helped us to package all these things so as to show to ex-President Jonathan that you need Ekiti to get into Osun and to get into the South.
And I'm happy you used the word package, because that's the reaction. A lot of people are saying that you deserve what you got. If you helped in packaging someone, it meant that that product was not a great product. Hence, you were packaging it. And so, in packaging this product, you were either packaging it for your own personal benefit, what you hoped to gain, and having not gained it, you've lost out. And that's why you are saying this election was a coup d'etat.
When we were packaging Governor Fayose, it was because, as younger brothers to him, he made us believe that he has changed. You need to see this man pray.
What do you mean pray? Prayer warrior pray?
Yes, pray. In fact, we can't pray as he can pray. And you need to see him when he's trying to get something from you.
He was all humility, humble,
and he will tell us stories. We will be laughing. He will demonstrate all sorts of things to us. You know, it's like if he's governor today, at times he will just come into his office and we will now sit on his chair, and he will come in and you say, okay, you are using that chair. okay, be governor for a day and you go somewhere, you will just sit somewhere. And that's it made us to
want to do it.
Yes, that's why we say that he's almost a better politician than us, because we were playing our own politics from the heart.
Yes, and you think he was deceiving you? Yes.
So, and we put everything we had into it. With that conviction,
yes,
President Jonathan now supported him massively.
Do you agree today that Dr. Kayode Fayemi did not lose that election, but he was rigged out?
I will answer that question by saying that in Ekiti, the gap in winning or losing elections is about 10%. Between the two parties always, from inception. Because it is the people in APC that will go and play the game in PDP. After some time, the people in PDP will come and play the game in APC. The key players are just moving in and out of the parties. And as such, these are still the leaders on ground. So, it is still basically the operators that are just changing camps. If you are talking about Governor Fayemi,
yes, Governor
Fayemi worked, but he borrowed heavily. And that's why we said that if you are going to use 4 years for your governorship, you'll have just managed all those things. You want to be an elitist governor, you want to show everybody, and you are now consuming the future incomes into Ekiti. And you are now taking the decision out of the hands of our children that will now be the future leaders of Ekiti. You are borrowing for 20 years. That means you are talking about 4 years, 5 terms. You are talking about minimum of 3 governors. And that means you are talking about if you have a child today, in the next 20 years, he will now be of voting age. You have taken the decision away on what he wants to do. And things keep on changing. That was the basis of our own argument in our
against Governor Fayemi.
But he worked. He worked. We are not on talking terms because he assumed that I was the one that managed him out of office. Because I think at a later stage, getting all these reports from the military and Koli, he was wondering that what could have made some of us to act in that manner towards him. But it's about party.
When Brigadier General Diko, former commander of the Army Brigade in Akure,
we went to him, we said you should give us soldiers.
Were you shocked when he said no?
He didn't even give us the opportunity to see him face to face.
Oh,
he sent somebody to tell us that he is aware. Yes, somebody arranged the meeting, but he's not going to honor it.
So he wasn't interested.
He said he's a military man, he's a professional.
When the whole thing was going on, did you ever think that something is wrong here? If your aim was to make all the APC members, demobilize them, so to speak, or demobilize them at least for 24 hours going into Sunday morning.
No, not for 24 hours. The operation was for 72 hours. Between Wednesday to Saturday in the morning.
You took them out. They were not allowed to move around.
They were not allowed to move around. They were in special detention camps. We confiscated some of the funds with them, and then we seized some materials from them. The tag for the party agents that were given to them by INEC, we took it from them, and some other issues like that.
How did you get the results sheets signed? Because all parties must sign.
Yes, some of our people were wearing the party tags of
APC.
When the leaders were nowhere to be found, when the mobilizers were nowhere,
yes,
the funds were not there, and then they have seen the presence of military. So many people did not even come out, and we have hounded, we have harassed some key leaders who kept on calling other leaders. So some people didn't even allow us to get to them.
They took off.
Yes.
So the whole aim of that intimidation was to make sure people won't even come out to vote.
Yes.
And how can that be a free and fair election?
But it was free and fair on Saturday when we were doing the election because there was no opposition. So international observers saw PDP
a free and fair election, quietness.
Because that's the question they should ask. There should be somebody somewhere fighting each other over one thing or the other at the polling units in some places. Because we did a selection of those polling units. And the leaders, it's not every leader that we are talking about. We are talking about leaders from history that we know can deliver their words, can deliver their local government, and that they are extremely important to the other party.
So when a leader is not seen, does that mean the people won't vote for that leader on the day of election?
Well, you know what has happened to a leader. Anything can happen to you during the day of election. And the leader is not even in any capacity to assist you.
Yes.
Then why should you now go and make trouble? Why should you now try your best? When if anything should happen, the leader will not be in any position to help you out. You just send the fear out. Yeah. Some of them have already passed the message, and then some of them don't even have the money to use in mobilizing people from their various houses to come and vote for them. We were the ones that were doing those things.
What can all this information achieve now?
It's deepen democracy.
It can't remove Governor Fayose from office.
Deepen democracy. That's what
in other words, we have to look for ways to avoid what I am calling technical rigging.
Yes, that's why I said we managed the election. The election was not INEC election, it was our election.
But Governor Fayose can't be removed, in spite of all the revelations
I am not saying all these things to remove him.
No, but you see, the point is, having said these things now, it is now obvious to everyone that that wasn't an election properly so called.
Yes, I think it was Governor Fashola that made that statement. How can 16 local government and they did not win any, not even the incumbent local government? And then there was a particular professor of political science, I think from Obafemi Awolowo University or UNILAG, that said that this is
unprecedented.
Not possible. Yes, he said it is not possible. Oh, he was even very confident that theorists will never support what has happened. When you talk about Nigeria, we are highly intelligent people in Nigeria.
Yes, but Dr. Aluko, you know, people can't forget that Election Petitions Tribunal, you insisted that the elections were good.
Whether election on that day was devoid of violence. And I said yes. Yes.
So is it because you went
we were talking about because there were nobody challenging us on that day. I know so many people in APC that are not greeting me today because of what happened.
And the sums of monies that you all allegedly received, do you have records of all those monies given by individuals, by the president himself, by the party? Do you have all the records?
I do.
Who are all the different people? Can you name them?
I mean, what is very important is the $2 million we used for the primaries.
Yes.
That I said came from Ifeanyi Uba.
That's transformation ambassadors?
Yes, that's NNPC.
Okay.
And he said that he didn't have any office in NNPC. I remember we went to NNPC to collect the money.
Yes.
And we followed Governor Fayose, myself, and Right Honorable Femi Bamishile. Even at that point, they deducted 3 bundles. I mean, 3 bundles, that's 300,000. They said
because the bundle is $100,000 each.
And then we took 17 bundles.
For what? 300?
For Korea, they said Korea fees for presidency.
Korea fees
for presidency.
But you guys didn't argue about that?
It's money coming to us free now. It's like somebody giving you money and you are now counting it.
And you are settling. Yes.
You know, Yorubas, we always tell you that, why are you counting money given to
you? but there was no courier fee on the $35 million.
No. I will tell you that, no. Because even the key was handed over to Fayose. It was Fayose that opened the trunk. It
was in a trunk box?
Yes. Obanikoro did not open it.
How does $35 million look? Is it as big as this table?
Very terrifying. It was army trunk box, very big. Army trunk box.
Cash.
It was carried by 2 soldiers.
With the minister then, Musili Obanikoro.
It was carried by 2 soldiers. And then I think that same day they took it to Onitsha. Then Bureau change. And I think they brought it back Wednesday evening. The giant army sacks, 4.7 billion.
What do you think?
There was even a confrontation between, I won't mention the name, and Governor Fayose, who was now saying that in the exchange we lost 84 million out, and it was very bitter, and the person was very upset that I should be talking to me like that. I did all these things for you, but let's leave that. Fayose has 3 rooms in his wing, secured, and it was kept in the 3rd room. On the other side, we had the military hillocks permanently stationed there with a submachine gun looking at the entrance of Fayose's wing. There is no reason why I'll be telling lies.
Yes.
What do you say? He's not even arguing about the message. He's just
the messenger.
about the messenger.
Because these monies, these things happened.
Yes, and I can mention 7 other people that were there when it happened. Some of them have been calling me that I should not mention their name, and I said, we don't have any issue with you now. The issue we have is to drive this Ekiti project right.
It comes across as if you are so angry about this chief of staff thing, you don't even mind going down for the crime of perjury. Have you considered that you may be arrested?
If they want to arrest me, they should arrest Farishe too. The two of us must stand there. He should be arrested for treason and electoral fraud. So if he's talking about perjury, then I should be talking about treason and electoral fraud. We all go to IG's office.
On a final note now, I spoke with 2 senior advocates of Nigeria. One responded by text. We will put his text message on the screen now for the viewers to see. And the other one, Rotimi Akeredolu, who was governorship candidate in Ondo State, senior advocate of Nigeria. Let's listen now to what he said on the phone.
The admission of the perjury at the close of the petition, when the final court, the Court of Appeal or the Supreme Court, because there are different levels. The Court of Appeal is the final court at the governorship level and presidential election. The Supreme Court does not form part of the process or the proceedings before the court. It goes to no issue. It's of no effect. It is like bolting the table when the horses have left. It has no effect. People are only just playing to the gallery and the public, and they just treating the gallery to their own theater. The court has pronounced that he won the election and that all challenges which were brought against his, I find one of them, all challenges brought against his election has been determined by the Supreme Court. And that's all. It has put an end to it. There's nothing anybody can do again. No process known to law that you cannot comment that can now declare a seat vacant or oust you. There is no process known to law. The only process known to law is the election petition, which has been fought and concluded. We are only just being treated to the nuances of people, the political parties, which is unfortunate, just to offend our own sensibilities.
Both of them, that's Muiz Banire, who is the National Legal Advisor of the APC, and Rotimi Akeredolu, say that the value of what you're saying now can't change the political setting in Ekiti State. The governor remains the governor because the election tribunal has concluded, but you leave yourself open to charges of perjury.
If they are saying that, they are not looking at the global picture of Nigeria. I'm looking at the global picture of Nigeria and Ekiti. I'm telling you that this has happened.
Yes.
Let's adjust.
What do you expect to happen now with this information that you've given us?
Let's say you have a CNC, you have a Minister of Defense, and you have a Minister for Police Affairs working in tandem. They can utter any election in any state. That is one. Then two, to now look at it, that you can do an election and have all the local government is an aberration. That, as what I have brought into the space,
yes,
has resolved so many questions in the minds of highly literate Nigerians that were asking questions before,
yes,
that were now saying, is it possible? So we now know it is not likely to be possible. Because when you look at even the arrangement of politics in Ekiti,
yes,
it is a gap of 10%. So it is not likely. If you are talking about 16 local government,
yes,
we should be talking about 9-7 or something like that, and not 16-0. So that is about that.
Yes.
Then in terms of perjury, I did what I need to do as a secretary of the party who cannot witness against that party. But now I am doing this as Dr. TEMITOPE Alukko, a Nigerian citizen that wants the best for Nigeria. So if they want to now say, we don't want our citizens to talk, we don't want Nigerians to be honest, we don't want Nigerians to say anything again because we have powerful people somewhere, so be it. But I will know that I have done restitution and my mind is clear. You know, I'm not asking for anything from anybody.
Yes.
I'm not sponsored by anybody. Some people are saying that it is APC. No.
Because I was going to ask you, are you preparing to move to the All Progressives
No,
Congress?
I said I will be in PDP.
Has anyone promised you that if you spill the beans, then you will come into APC and perhaps be our candidate?
The only person that has promised me that is God. God says, clear your conscience, and I will make your road to be clear, to be better. I have that promise with God, not with anybody.
Have you apologized to the people of Ekiti?
I've done that on several occasions.
For the
and
rigging.
I am also doing it now with what I am saying. So that I will be ready for tomorrow, we'll be ready for the future. So that even me, I will be at peace with myself.
Are you not worried that anyone now who wants to have an alliance with you will be worried that whatever you guys discuss or
I will not do anything illegal with anybody unless you have an evil intention. If you are coming to me to do something evil or to do something illegal, yes, I won't do it. So if you are not doing anything illegal with me, why should I now be saying it? I'm even protecting myself from such people. It is only people that are honest and clean that will now come around me.
Are you not scared to go back to Ekiti State?
Why should I be scared? It's in the public domain.
You are not worried that you've spilled the beans on what really happened in that election?
I am not worried that I am correcting basic things in Ekiti. I'm not worried that I am speaking the minds of people. I'm not worried that I'm trying to help in making the votes of people to count. I'm not worried.
Are you still on speaking terms with Governor Fayose? When last did you speak with him?
About 4 or 5 months ago.
What about Honorable Bamishile, Right Honorable?
Honorable Bamishile, I think December.
Are you on speaking terms? Or?
No, we are not really, because he wanted me to pull out of
the PDP.
And followed him, and we should leave Ayofauci, and I said I won't leave him, that I will stay with him.
Now, you are remaining in the PDP. What next for you? Will you still be trying for political office?
Of course, I will. Nobody can kill my dream.
Thank you very much, Dr. Aluko, for coming on 60 Minutes with me.
I'm tired. It's like I'm blinking in the dark. Nobody is seeing me. You should do it properly for Ekiti. I've made my mistake. I'm trying to correct my mistake. But we should not allow other mistakes to just keep on rolling.
That's it for this week. I'm Angela Ajetomobi.